You know, mute means quite a bit, especially to key positioning around the map of Oregon. This means that we're more than likely going to see things like Kaid, things like Bandit exemplified here in this matchup. Obviously, the rest of the utility band out here making quite a bit of sense. Nook, our most banned offensive operator. Valkyrie, one of the most pivotal operators on defense. But with that band in mind, Azami, our most banned defender, open once again here for map 3 like she was on map 2.
Yeah, we've seen this rotating cast of secondary defender bans. Valk has been a staple so far. Banned out by BDS through all 3 maps. BDS says we don't want a Valkyrie in our games, and there's nothing you can do to stop them. The other defender that was banned out back in map number 1, Malusi. Kaid banned on Bank, and now Mute removed from Oregon. Getting into the numbers on Oregon, as you see BDS starting on defense, Team Liquid on attack. Must favor BDS. Again, as we talked about on Bank, and we will continue to bring up map by map until you are tired of hearing it from us. Team Liquid are a better team on defense than they are on attack, and Oregon is very lopsided for the defenders. It's the second most played map here in the major. Actually quite a ways behind Clubhouse. Clubhouse played 13 times. We won't see it today, it was banned. Oregon, this is the 9th play for Oregon. In the previous 8 matches, 63% of rounds won by the defenders. That is an overwhelming amount.
Yeah, that's all up to the Sonic, so thanks for that one, Seth. Playing Clubhouse 13 times, and we haven't even talked about LATAM or BDS yet. Everybody really wanting to play Clubhouse at this event. A far cry from what we had about a year ago, and everyone was like, can we get this map out of the pool? I feel like everybody just wants to play Clubhouse. Yeah, well, it's you too.
Let them.
Exactly.
Why not?
Let them have cake. Oh. Well,
I mean, I know what you were trying to do, but it wasn't successful. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Liquid pouncing on BDS so quickly. Renshiro's dropped as well, right into the waiting arms of Ask from above. A minute off the clock, and Liquid with 2 very fast picks.
What a clear from Liquid. They had everything synced up. They even had resets all the way in the top of Big Tower to shut down the rotation through Attic, and that's going to give Liquid 2 big kills. I don't know how you get a Monty inside unbeknownst to your opponents, but I mean, hey, if it fits, it ships. BDS have no idea the mountain is quickly coming down on top of them. 2 big pickups here from Liquid, and now they get to take their time. About a minute and 20 seconds remaining. These hatches already open. Just need to bear down on the location of BDS in the basement.
3 remaining players will sit and wait. The beautiful thing of Liquid getting those picks so early is they have so much time to then figure out how they want to attack the bomb site. There's going to be no denial on these hatches as Kaid is absent for round number 1, so hard destruction of both resets, and Lagonis will be able to open things up inside a meeting, inside a security, whichever hatches they so choose. First smoke has been dropped by Ask. Lagonis goes down. That's the first casualty for Liquid. Shaiko, first one on BDS to get a pick. Ask being just destroyed by the Malusi. Once again, Shaiko will flee. He's got a player nearby. Ask will see the smoke go off in front of him. On 1 HP for the Montaigne, you gotta keep him safe. Nesk spots the player of Smoke. Bride outduels him. Bride gets 2 big kills. That's all she writes for that. Alems and Shaiko resets and Ask. That is a landscape. Yokai going off, diffuser in the hands of resets. No more blasts for now. Ask slaughtered, Shaiko clutches out, and BDS takes round number 1.
It might be a 3 versus 5. Well, that's a little bit different when it comes to a map like Oregon, isn't it? Especially with Liquid having 0 drones in that last minute at all, Parker. Not a single one to their name. All they had was EE1Ds and a Monty. And to be honest with you, Ask did a little bit too much there, pushing himself down Freezer and trying to manage himself around his teammate's Rotero drone. Actually ended up giving himself a lot of damage once BDS actually swung in and tried to take care of him a little bit earlier on into that last minute. But that's really where it started to crumble down. He couldn't try and enact upon a lot of things that he once could with the health pool that he had. Had to try and stave off elimination, which would have led more than likely to a Liquid plant, but they couldn't get a single kill onto the BDS operatives. Getting so much done from their position downstairs, even though they're practically pigeonholed into stock as well as a little laundry room there. Liquid, they look like they had the first round after their beautiful clear upstairs, but did not come to fruition. They're gonna drop the Monty off a cliff, no longer having him here, and we're gonna have a Finka for the very first time in this matchup.
It's a bit odd to see her fall from grace. She was such a staple of the meta, but after changes to the LMGs, other operators have filled that role quite well. Resets will be running the Spear instead of that LMG, which again, far harder to control than we used to see. For so long, the Finka and the Zofia dominated, not anymore. The one big thing that Finka brought that we talk about being absent the most is the ability to top your team back up. Resets will take matters into his own hands. That Finka that we were just discussing gets the pick number 1. Alems was playing up at the top of T3, and he gets punished as the repel from Liquid finds him in a nice crossfire.
And that Spear, still a very solid option when it comes to weapons. We see it quite often on defense, although not really this event because it is on Thunderbird. I don't even think we've seen her a single time.
I have not casted a single Thunderbird match.
Me neither, not a single round of Thunderbird. And speaking of the Thunder, here comes the roar. EFAC finally shuts it down. But as we see, Liquid, they're gonna buff themselves up. They're on a warpath right now. It's working quite well for them. They have to know that Resets is here inside of the third area of tower. He's actually gonna try and dedicate himself to the drone instead. Fantastic choice, middle of the round. Try and pick up some more info here. Be able to support the rest of your teammates. Also, searching for Nesk. Searching for Resets as well up top, but Nesk trying to sneak in behind, slip through the cracks. Not even necessary at the current moment. Aska to get so much info on site as well.
More so what he didn't see was how many of those rooms are now open because he didn't see a single player in any of them. So you know that these parts of the bomb site are yours for the taking. A team as experienced as Liquid will then be able to know where these remaining defenders are playing. The key parts will be over towards Attic. There goes the Banshee that would slow him down. Nest close enough to do some damage. BDS find a pick onto Resets, trying to keep these numbers close. Shaiko in Attic. That means that the position that Liquid had over there has been surrendered. Shaiko still in this spot, yet to die, 4-0. Hidden behind the soft wall, but will be tagged onto a pre-fire as he gives his position away. BDS on bomb chassis. Shaiko just doing what he does best. 5-0 for him. Ask now position, but Shaiko again. Finally, his reign of terror is ended at the hands of Nesk, and BDS will clutch out. BDS goes up 2-0.
Well, you know who we have to talk about.
Talk about him.
It's got to be Shaiko himself.
It's got to be Shaiko.
Playing from the Attic position, and Liquid give up the goods. The thing you never do against Shaiko, give him his ones. If you walk into an angle that there is a chance that he might be holding, he's probably going to decapitate you. And that's exactly what has come to fruition. Liquid, I would say, did a very considerable job of clearing out the initial hold from BDS. But once they got to the spine, the backbone of this setup, well, there's a man with an MP5 waiting for them, and he decimates the entirety of Team Liquid. Love what Liquid was doing with the overall clear on that round there, but didn't really get much done once it came to the site execute. I really would have liked to have seen them maybe slow it down just a bit. They still had time while trying to execute from that side. Maybe, you know, throw a spanner in the works, get somebody to rotate, try and get somebody on the backside of that Attic, something along those lines. Giving those heads-up gunfights to two of the most clutch players on BDS, probably not the best idea.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Especially when the first player from Liquid that was hunting down Shaiko inside of Attic was positioned to get him, but Shaiko wins that engagement head on, 1v1. Now you don't have anybody from Liquid to rotate back over to Attic. That frees up Shaiko to play in that space. It means that you don't have to worry about presence from tower, and you don't need to worry about somebody taking that big Dorms wall either. That's such a powerful spot for Shaiko to be in. And at that point in time in the round, you expect somebody to be opening up Closet, position over by Bedroom. Shaiko knew that, and he was ready for that engagement too. It's not just the mechanical aim that sets these players apart, but it's the game sense and understanding where your opponents will and won't be that allows players like Palu and Shaiko to take over these matches.
It's very rare that you find a player, especially in Rainbow Six Siege, that can play the game to absolute perfection. And fortunately enough, we actually have a handful of them here in this grand final. Nesk, Palu, Shaiko, Bride. I mean, the list goes on. But Shaiko showing why he is indeed one of the best to ever do it. How do you even get away with that? Ask bodied by the MP5 yet again. EFAC, does he have it? He does not. Unfortunate that Impact, so fantastic on a map like Oregon. You hit the fan on the other side, the northern side on that area.
The EFAC Impact.
Indeed. Usually ends up stopping those hard breachers, but not this time around. Instead, Team Liquid, they've got control upstairs. They've got some semblance of hard breach here with resets, although it is Lagonis managing things, trying to bear down on the kitchen position. They're looking for their opening blood.
Liquid surrendering that pick. First time that they've done so. BDS. Well, they get on the board early. Anti-flank operator is the one that is down. This bomb site of Kitchen Dining's only been played 6 times so far. This will be number 7. It's been won by the defense every single time. BDS looking to stretch their lead. They got that early pick. They can sit and wait, let the bomb site work in their favor. BDS are going for a late rotate now as we hit the 45-second mark. The Mira, Bride holding back tower. EFAC down below. He's trying to get away. He could pop up through the main lobby. Liquid will now drop as the execute goes down, but there's Bride again in this powerful position. Back by stage, back by that tower. Liquid have no coverage because they don't expect somebody back there. And it's too late for them to hop onto the drones. Shaiko's still in this position. Good God, the things that this man is capable of doing. Resets inside a kitchen. He's got a lineup. He's dropped a Lems, but he gets shut down by Shaiko. And then it's Shaiko again to break double digits. It really just is his world. We're playing it at 3-0 BDS, but really it's 3-0 Shaiko.
Indeed.
Kills on all of Liquid. Hold on a second. Shaiko Lolo, it's coming home again. That's all I heard.
Yeah, I mean, don't stop now. What are you guys doing? I mean, like, is this like your first LAN or something? We're supposed to cheer like the entire time. This is Grand Final Sunday. Let's make some noise. That's more like it.
God, you know, hearing European crowds chant, I just miss the days of let's go blank blank from the Charlotte Major, man. NA, great chants that we've got over there.
I mean, I know you definitely miss Montreal. Montreal was a whole different world. It was whimsical for SI 2020.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back there. It's always nice to go to the frozen tundra of my home country.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, past the frozen tundra, how do you feel about fast-moving, fast-acting shield plays? you good with that? Is that something they do in Canada?
I mean, you take a timeout. Liquid decide, all right, let's bring a Lion, let's bring a Blitz. Let's try and solve this problem. This bomb site of Laundry Supply Room, second attempt for Team Liquid to do something with it. When you have a Lion on the board and you have a Blitz, you can hit that part of blue fast and you can hit it hard. Will Liquid decide to do that, or are they going to play it a bit more strategically sound? Because a Blitz can be so impactful at the start of a round, but can also be strong through the mid to late rounds, especially if you don't know that a Blitz is necessarily coming when there's a minute left on the board. But no, it certainly seems like Liquid are going to toy with the idea of getting in as quickly as they can. Maybe not. It sure seemed like it, but then a drone gets tossed out.
Yeah, the biggest thing for Ask right now is that he has to try and circumnavigate the Banshees of Shaiko. Those are going to be the only things slowing him down. It's going to be a big issue because that's all Blitz bread and butter right there. He wants to act quick. He wants to stun you. He wants to gun you down as fast as humanly possible. But you can see BDS, they're hot to trot and they're feeling it right now. Playing everything to the very edges of their defense downstairs. Still in a turtle format, but making sure that Liquid do not get a single foothold on what could be their very first round. It's been slow to start here. They've gotten that mid-round control or mid-map control up top on that mid-level, trying to get these hatches open and use these Rotero drones to their fullest from Nesk. He'll be able to get rid of one of the shields, but Liquid still coiling around the site. Might be able to get rid of some of the Electro Claws and the harder to reach pieces of utility here. Another Rotero drone out. Palu actually going to expend his Gone on some barbed wire here, but now BDS, they should know the jig is up. Some damage out, a Nitro Cell out as well. Very stalwart position adopted from Alems, but he's gonna back off.
Trying to follow up on the explosive, but nothing there to be found. Liquid waiting out this EE1D. That's the first one to be used, but the Vector in the hands of the Lion is so distinct that they knew he was on the board. Are they aware of the fact the Blitz is encroaching upon their position? Nesk just running right in. He went for broke, but BDS greets him with willing arms. Here comes Ask to blind out onto the smoke. Palu down for the count. First kill from Liquid's on the shoulders of Lagonis. But you got the Blitz in a precarious spot. A smoke to conceal himself from a late push, and the flash goes out too. Lagonis could secure onto Alems. This matchup far closer than you'd think, but Lagonis can't control that bearing 9. He's last man standing as the shield in Blitz's hands is down, and Renshiro prevents the tricky Liquid strat from working. BDS have yet to be beaten on this defense. 4 rounds in, 4 rounds into the column of BDS.
And the tack timeout from Liquid already burnt.
Yep.
Their offensive side, as you said, not their favorable side through history. And once again, we're seeing how they're being punished.
Right, I mean, you get a very lopsided Oregon.
It's very true.
Where almost 2/3 of the rounds have been won by the defenders. You've got a team that doesn't excel all that much on attack. And you just got a recipe for a bad first half.
It just really seems like they couldn't put that offensive lineup to good use. You know, I respect the Blitz pick, but he almost didn't take it to the step that he needed to. He needed to just try and bully his way into side there. Getting stuck inside of elbow does literally nothing for you. If you're gonna try and go kill that smoke, well then hightail it in there. If you die, you die. You guys are already down so many men that it really doesn't matter at that point. That's when you throw all of your hope, everything that you're considering caring about in that moment, out the window.
I mean, huge credit to the way that Brede played that. Toss the smoke out on the main rotate from the front of Laundry. Nesk breathes in some of the toxic gas, and as the rest of Liquid start to align towards blue, Nesk either makes the executive decision himself or gets a call from the rest of the team, go for it. So Nesk sprints through that smoke to try to catch Brede off guard and catch the rest of BDS off guard as well. But Brede is prepared and ready for it. He reads into it perfectly, shuts down Nesk. If Nesk is able to get in and get that single kill, half of the bomb site is now theirs for the taking. The only player with any command of that rotate where the Blitz was going was over from Freezer, which is also where Liquid had stacked up some of their players. That gives Liquid huge leverage over the rest of the bomb site to be able to corral the remaining BDS players towards Pillar in the back of the bomb site. Nesk was really the linchpin of that strategy. When Brede reads it and shuts him down, the rest of Liquid fall apart. They had nowhere to go after that.
Yep, out in open ocean. No paddle for the boat either. Liquid looking for their very first round here on Oregon.
It's terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, you know,
imagine being dropped into just the middle of the ocean with no boat or paddle.
It's just not exactly a fun scenario, but when you have Shaiko having 2 more kills in your entire roster currently, yeah, I'd say you're about there.
Shaiko's the lifeboat.
He is indeed. He's the lifeblood of BDS at this current moment. It's his world, we're living in it, but there's also this man, I don't know if you know his name. His name's Palu. He's going to take down Renshiro, the Jaeger. Renshiro, he's been kind of back and forth this tournament. I really respected his play. He does a lot of the odd jobs, the hard jobs for BDS, but sometimes he can light a fire, just like Liquid.
Oh, they're
going to put BDS's out. Palu and Ask, they hop too. It's a plant going down for Lagonis. Does this Nitro Cell land? It's out. It does a lot of damage, but it won't stop what is inevitable. Shaiko goes down. EFAC, he's not good for it. A flawless round for Liquid here as they finally get one on the board, but it took so very long to do so.
You need to be able to keep yourself.
Did you sign that man's beanie?
I did sign that man's beanie.
That's a nice signature you got there.
I've been working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it could use a little bit more work. You know, maybe like a smiley face in the O or so. You know, you got to show them that.
Is that what
you're
yours
happy
looks
to
like?
be here.
Is that what yours looks like?
Maybe.
Attackers need to locate
Maybe
and
so.
defuse bombs.
I didn't get to sign the man's beanie, so you wouldn't know, would you?
See, I was going to make fun of Sam. For those of you that wouldn't know this, his tablet has a pen that he uses to write on, and he broke the pen. So now he has no way to write on his tablet. So we've been relying on my notes in front of me. So I was going to make a joke and say, well, why don't you just sign your tablet and I can see.
Oh, you're so funny. You're so funny. I typed up all of my notes last night for
Yes, you did. They're actually fantastic.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, actually, you want to know a pretty interesting one? Since Paulu's actually doing some stuff, we can talk about him and Shaiko.
Hit us with it.
Well, we talked about earlier how Shaiko has the most opening duels in the game, but you know also he has the highest headshot percentage at 74% in the tournament. To be expected, but this is where we get to go on my Paulu tirade because this man has been absolutely incredible this entire tournament. Second best for rating at a 1.28. Best KD, 113 to 72. That's plus 41. Tied for second in cost at 73%. Tied for third with KPR at 0.95. Tied for fifth for survival percentage at 39%. And he has the most clutches at the tournament with 6. My God, what a run this guy is putting in Jönköping.
Device is going dark.
And that's my notes. There you go.
Thank you.
That's what you do. You stay up till 2 a.m. and you type a lot when you don't have a pen. Or you chuck electro claws across the room about 1 million times in scrims, and that's what we see from BDS. You can see clearly how many times he's done that in the past. Same for Shaiko, as he is on an absolute tirade here through 5 rounds.
12 kills with the 6th round upon us.
It's here.
If it ends and he doesn't get a single kill, that is 2 kills per round. That is staggering. We often talk about historically, Shaiko is usually good for 1.1 kills per round, which in and of itself is a remarkable feat in this game.
Ridiculous stat.
Especially on the role he plays. You are often the first one involved in fights. You're the first one involved in engagements, and you're, what? You're not even getting traded out? I mean, usually you're getting a kill and then some and then getting killed. You're good enough for more than just a trade. That's excellent. Shaiko has double that right now.
Well, we know why he's been such a hot prospect for so very long and why BDS has constantly put him at the very center of their team, building these squads up around him. And they might have finally found success here in Jönköping, looking for their very first major. Liquid pretty slow to the draw here on round 6. Measure twice, cut once method. To be able to put down one of their exothermic charges, they'll get stage open, and this is more than likely the home for the plant later on.
Absolutely could be. Depends on if Liquid decides to put anybody over towards B. Renshiro punished from above. Now he's got to be a little bit better on these engagements. Deciding to take one with Ask. Paulu's found an opening. He could spring into the bomb site. Is BDS aware of this? Do they have any sights in that direction? Speaking of in the bomb site, Lagonis is in, getting the diffuser down. Liquid just playing with these last couple players of BDS. It's all on EFAC against the 5 of Liquid. We just saw a flawless round. Are we going to find another? Yes, we will. Nesk denies BDS a single kill over these last 2 rounds.
It was a fantastic distracting method from Team Liquid. All of BDS honed in on meeting. They're like, okay, Liquid, when are you coming through the door? We've got all our guns trained. And it was so easy for them to just sneak that case into kitchen and start the plant. It was already halfway down when Paulu got the first kill from somebody rotating back in to just check the situation. So very easy for Liquid, especially after what they were able to do early on in that round. You could definitely see that building up with how they took control of kids' dorms upstairs, all that verticality really playing into their hand.
Well, BDS can thank Shaiko for the nest egg they sit on as they take their turn on attack. First half in the books, BDS win rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Team Liquid win rounds 5 and 6. In terms of first bloods, Team Liquid actually got the first pick 4 of those 6 rounds, but were only able to convert on the last 2. Technically, one of those first bloods by Liquid was immediately traded out by BDS, or BDS and got it, and then it was immediately traded out by Liquid. Either way, teams relatively even, but the advantage in favor of Liquid. Look at that, a very forward play, deployable shield that will, well,
Got it.
Ask actually got the Rotero drone. Lems will try again. How many times are we going to see this exact thing happen? The slow-moving drone goes in, Ask not successful on the second time. That's a deployable shield down for the count. Ask has had some success with that shotgun at long range. It's not usually a consistent thing, especially at close range. We've seen both the Warden and the SAS operators equipped with that shotgun be punished for it.
He wants it so bad, too. Constantly flirting with death there. One nice shot from Alems could spell demise, but he's going to back off instead for both of the parties. BDS, they've mostly been focused on the mid-floor past that, though, as you should be. Need to work on these hatches and getting some things open. Brede is going to be necessary to getting the security hatch open for Freezer, which Shaiko is currently residing in. Some shots from downrange here from Liquid. Shaiko's going to check inside of Freezer to see anybody's home, but the magnet will catch it instead. Might still get rid of the barrier there, but Kiba will stay up, so Liquid still at full advantage with their utility, but BDS making good time on these hatches.
No conventional hard breach for BDS either. They're bringing a Maverick, who is not usually a primary hard breacher. The secondary hard breach gadget of the Capitao has been applied to 2 separate locations, leaving just the Maverick to carve things open. Zertero drones claimed a shield earlier on. Now more utility on the back tower stairs, felled by the explosive drone, piloted in from BDS. Alem's still searching for his first kill, the only player in the server yet to get on the board. Hasn't been involved in a lot of altercations as he's been playing those sheltered minutes farther back. And I mean, when you've got Shaiko dropping 12, who else on the team isn't playing sheltered minutes?
Oh, BDS. Gotten it all set up, and this might be finally it. Alems, he finds his first kill and the first kill of this round. Looking for his second, but it's going to be Lagonis that keeps things even. Shaiko attempting to work up Freezer. The smoke will dissipate, but he doesn't have the angle necessary to hold over into Laundry. Liquid so far doing a bang-up job of holding on to the site. Great utility management, great guns as well. Orange lights up the kill feed, but Renshiro, he's gotten inside. EFAC not able to get it done. Ask will gun him down. It's up to Renshiro. He'll take out the smoke, turns on a dime, gets 2, but it's Nesk to seal it away. Liquid 1 round away from tying us up here on Oregon.
What a comeback from Liquid we're witnessing, and now they've got the matchup tilting in their favor. They're on the side of Oregon that you want to be on, and they are the team to do it with a better win rate on defense. So Liquid playing up to those expectations the way that we saw it. BDS's first assault was very Freezer heavy, stacking up 2 separate operators in that spot, but they could not move the players from Liquid out of the common rotate spot and take command of Blue. And by the time it finally happened, it was Renshiro in that position who picked up 2, technically 1 because the other one was a down, but we'll count it, why not? I mean, the man only has 2 kills. A third would be pretty nice to add to his total. But with BDS's very linear attack, and it seemed like they stalled out a little bit, Liquid didn't really need to do all that much. They could just play from far back, they could keep control of Pillar, Nesk in that spot, because the Rotero drone that came down did not fully clear out all the utility on those back tower stairs. Nesk sat and waited. BDS took their time, and they just struggled. They struggled with clock management.
Very difficult for BDS there, as you said. Mostly due to the way that they had to default things out towards the Freezer side with their utility game. Very difficult for them, although they did find Renshiro, that little opening there in construction right here where EFAC is, able to slip through the cracks. Like you said, try and work that backside, but there's only a partial annex for them. The main assault not going their way, and that's really where it falters. Renshiro supposed to be there really to pick it up in kind of a 3v4 situation, even things out, maybe pick up 2 big kills and really open the round for BDS in a situation like that. But when you're the lone soul operating on that end of the map, it's a completely different story. BDS gonna be able to get at least 1 person in down low to start. Don't know if Ask is gonna try and rotate downstairs. It could be his doom if he does with EFAC in the wings.
Did EFAC use up all of his magic in the first map and a half? That's the question.
Is he human?
I mean, the thing is, Sam, when you look at a best of 5, there will be players who will have an off map or 2. Palu decided to take the first 2 maps off. His team split them 50-50. We're now starting to see the Palu that we are so familiar with.
That's some caster timing if I've ever seen it.
And Renshiro knows that well. Renshiro right now not performing up to snuff for BDS. Speaking of, they draw us back even. Ask was roaming in main lobby. He gets punished for it. He and Palu leading the way on this team, being the two that are most commonly involved in early engagements. You still got Palu upright, still able to frag well on that Warden.
What a moment here for BDS. The drones have been decimated. They have 4 active. And the ability to try and still mull about with EFAX as well as a LEMS, but for Brede and Shaiko, nothing doing, nothing being for them. All they have is a Gemini clone to their name to be able to try and assist, but that's more than likely against the will of Shaiko. He's looking for the kills, he's looking for the nades. No one's gonna rotate through. He will be able to get rid of at least the shield here. No more drones for him. Has to worry about that verticality now as well, as he's giving up the goods. They know where his location is. Lagonis, he's gonna dance with death and EFAC. Adrenal Surges, though, keeping BDS safe here, keeping them alive. Such a good delay here from Liquid. You can really see how these Kiba barriers really get into the heads of the offense, just not able to work things like they once would be able to. Palu, he'll pick up the 2nd kill here for Liquid. He's gotten double digits. BDS, they're trying to finally make an assault, but Liquid get it done in practically flawless fashion again.
Because BDS has now lost 4 in a row. Team Liquid called theirs after BDS went up 3-0. Yeah, the next round went to BDS, but Liquid have been on a 4-round streak after that. Clearly this timeout was able to help them center themselves, get their head back in the game.
Well, it seems that they've finally aggravated the most killing player to ever exist at a LAN, Palu, as he's woken up and decided, hey, I actually really know how to play this game. And since then, he's been absolutely lights out. Every duel that he's been involved in practically going his way, past the moment of Shaiko collecting his 12 kills. Shaiko was on top of the world for the first 4 rounds. He hasn't gotten a kill since, Parker.
Yeah, I mean, 12-2,
12-5.
then 0-3.
Oh, yes.
Not exactly.
I see the math now. That's on me.
There you go. It doesn't help that in those last 3 rounds, Renshiro's only picked up a single kill, Alem's only picked up a single kill. You've got 3 players on BDS mustering up 2 kills over 3 rounds. That's terrible. That's really terrible for a grand final. And it's not that they've forgotten how to play. Renshiro has struggled with consistency more than anybody else on BDS throughout this major. Nesk has been inconsistent for Liquid throughout this major as well. It's fair for us to say both those statements. And while we pointed out in the last round that you will have an off map or 2, you know that Nesk can show up when needed. Palu had an off map 1, did okay, but still not great map 2, and now he's terrorizing them. For BDS, you've got 3 players who have been inconsistent over the last 3 to 4 rounds. That's over half your team. You cannot have that happen. And even if it's Liquid shutting you down, you can't look at it that way. You have to look at it as, if you're going to win this match, one of these 3 players needs to shake it off. Brede's been doing all right, but he's been the only bright spot over these last 3 rounds. And even then, some of the kills that he's gotten have been largely impactless and in a losing effort in the dying moments of a round.
And he also has so much heavy lifting to do for this roster. He's got a lot of the hard jobs, Hard Breach being one of them, although he does have that AK-12. But as you said, usually when a player starts to putter out near the end of a game and they got a lot of kills, that opens up the opportunity for your other teammates to step up and start collecting some of those themselves, but hasn't come to fruition. And oh my, BDS, have we mismanaged Z here? Doesn't seem that we have the TCSG working its way out for the first time in some time. Nice little call back to what we saw in 2020 with Ninjas in Pajamas up against SSG, where Canadian was able to take his 2nd hammer.
That was that double TCSG setup from Goyo and Kaid that kept coming out, and it was NiP deciding that they didn't want to use the conventional shotguns. Instead, they just wanted to go with that, what they had available to them. Nesk gets a lot of damage inside of Meaning as there's a minute to go in this round, but it doesn't matter how much HP you have. Nesk is such a pivotal force. Liquid clean up 2 quick kills. BDS gets back with it, but Nesk finds number 2. Renshiro goes to Palu. It's a Lems in a 1v4. BDS, they had the lead for 4 rounds. They've watched it dry up. It's evaporated, and the state change goes from gas to liquid as they're up 5-4, and it's 5 in a row from liquid.
They tag 5 together instead. I mean, my word, this roster, especially Nesk. I want you all to realize Nesk had literally 5 HP for all of the gunfights that he took right there, and he won every single one of them. He survived that round inside of meeting. That's not something that you see every day, and Nesk able to accomplish it here. Ask and Palu also having a heck of a game. I was actually talking to Parker in between games, was talking to him about Ask. I figured he'd be the biggest component to Liquid's success today. Nesk not having the greatest tournament, Palu having a banger of a tournament thus far, but Ask really being the deciding factor, especially with some of the Twitch play that we've seen out of him. He has been lethal when it comes to the fragging department. This time around, he's doing it all over again, and we'll see if he can continue on his tirade with that smoke to his name now. BDS, they have to try and get this assault on the basement. The last time around, able to start off decently cleanly. Alem's getting that Rotero drone in to get rid of a decent amount of utility over here on the construction side. It's not going to be the same setup from Liquid. They're going to back it off just a little bit. Still going to have that shield around somewhere, but definitely not going to be right outside.
Taking top on the tower, Renshiro in quite fast. Are drones helping them get to this position? Yes, there are. BDS want to be quick to get down there. Maybe catch Liquid off guard 30 seconds into a round, which would push Team Liquid to match point. Neither team, despite winning a map apiece, have won their respective map. 7-1 all the way back on Theme Park. Team Liquid's map, BDS takes it 7-1. Bank, BDS's map. Team Liquid wins 7-4. Now with this impressive 5-round streak, during which Team Liquid started with 2 flawless rounds in a row and have now done a perfect rotation on defense. TL could get their 6th round, go to match point on their own map, and set themselves up excellently to go to Cafe next.
That's one of the scariest prospects about it. Honestly, with how both of these teams are playing at the current moment, I would not be surprised if you and I get all 5 to Skyscraper.
Oh, does it begin?
Especially with Nesk. He's already started it off. Renshiro, he's been missing sorely here on Oregon. BDS, they've needed somebody to try and assist Shaiko, but nobody's home. He's knocking on all the doors down the street. Somebody please help me. I'm one man with a gun, and he's gonna have to try and dip out of construction. Just too much heat from Liquid.
He takes damage from the toxic canister on the way out as well, Sam. Losing about a third, maybe a quarter of his HP. That's 1 bullet. And especially with high rates of fire guns on defense, that could be the difference between life and death. Shaiko will have to make up for lost time because now Alems is dead. Bride goes as well. Liquid just winning every engagement. Shaiko won't be able to get it done. A 3rd flawless round from Liquid, and they've won 6 in a row to go on to match point.
What is happening to BDS? They can't get a foothold, not a kill, nothing, not even the utility in their favor, Parker. Everything going the way of Liquid. They are looking dynamic on this defense. I'd say they're moving a little aquatically, if I'd have to say so myself.
And Liquid woke up. And it's not even the usual players on Liquid. It's not even Palu and Nesk working together to carry the weight. No, no, no. It seems that there's a dawning of a new Liquid in front of us. When they brought in Lagonis to center this team, the old Nesk-dominated Liquid of old is not on our screens anymore. Ask, Resets, and Lagonis. Even Palu is quite young. These are the kids that are running the show right now.
Yeah, whereas Nesk actually has kids. He is a full-on dad, and he has been for a couple of years now.
He got practice by having the children with him on Team Liquid. In fact, the fan base in Brazil is so young that they refer to fans of Liquid over there as Liquids, as in kids, because they tend to be quite a young fan base. And now it's the younger folk on Liquid who are stealing the show.
This has been kind of a thing this entire year for every region. Everyone looking to CL and seeing if there's a bright prospect to pick up and put on their team. One, maybe two, not a full change unless you're some of the lower operating teams in your respective region. But for Liquid and for BDS, it's been working out wonderfully for them. I mean, you're not going too far when picking up Lagonas, let's be honest. He's a major champion. But for BDS and EFAC, even though this game isn't looking all that hot right now, EFAC is one of the reasons that they're even in this grand final. And this is his rookie year. Currently sitting at 4-6 on map 3 of a grand final here in Sweden. I mean,
look at Spoit's impact on Rogue.
Oh, absolutely.
Rogue does not win the major in Berlin without Spoit.
Don't you dare down talk my boy Deepak, okay?
Deepak's been around for a while.
He has.
Even though he hasn't competed at Tier 1 level, he's been around for quite a while. So I don't know if you can call him the same rookie. Spoit is literally young.
Straight up 18 years old. 18. This game came out when I was 18. That is a ridiculous thing. Absolutely ridiculous. I thought it was wild when Bolo jumped in and started gunning everybody down. Then Spoit does it, and all these young guns showing what they can do.
I mean, I remember in NA when people were talking about Yaga, who was 15 at the time, when he makes it to Pro League. And I'm thinking to myself, that's forever from now. And now Yaga's been competing for over a year. So time flies when you're having fun. BDS not having very much fun, but the timer is still flying by. Shaiko in, no good. Palu swats him away. A second from Palu, resets down below. Liquid mopping the floor right now. It won't be flawlessly done. Alem's denying that, but EFAC will need to find 4 kills. He won't even get 1. Liquid wins 7 damn rounds in a row, and they move to championship point.
Well, my friend, Oregon is looking a lot like Brazil here in this